Welcome to page 3. Very, very excited today. As you can see, as promised, again, many new faces. We got some old faces, but they're all beautiful faces. And I don't know who that guy John White is because I don't recognize him. You look very good, John White. Very good. I want to say I'm glad we stopped the recording for a minute because babyface grandma's fingers got stuck, and we started over. So I want to say I'm very thankful for three things today. One is God, one is MUfreh, and one is Marty DeGarmo, who I'm glad to say is here today. And I'm very, very grateful. I want to thank you, and he might, but I'm going to do it first for all the prayers that you gave to not only to our brother Marty, but to everyone that we pray for every day. I'm appreciative of it. I said something on the Middle Eastern webinar, and a lot of you weren't on that one, that I want to repeat. I want to give a personal shout out and thank you to all the loyal founders who stuck with Ash when he was at his lowest points in this company. And you guys never gave up. You never swayed. You stayed in belief in him. And I want to thank you personally for that. That means a lot to me. I know it means a lot to Ash and to all of you. So I do appreciate that. A lot of things have been going crazy. The last couple of weeks have been up and down craziness with brother Marty in and out of the hospital. They think they got it now. He's going to be in there till Monday, and I'm sure we're going to hear some funny stories for the next couple of weeks on his little journey he had in and out of that ambulance and hospital. But we are very thankful, and I'm very thankful for the prayers and him being back at least on this webinar until Monday. And I do want to give a big shout out to my sister Julie Wen, who is up, who's always been there and always helped out. But she gave us a lot of help late last night. I text Marty, I think we got this just for one YouTube. He said he can do it. So I said, I'm going to bed. We're done. We did what we had to do. Woke up and he sent me a message, call me right now. And then we spent the next 4 or 5 hours. Got Julie back on the phone, texting Ash, get ready to share that new link because we want to get all the YouTubes on. Please like and subscribe to whoever's YouTube you're on. We want to say thank you to all the YouTubers from around the world that have joined us and put out great messages, positive messages, truthful messages for this amazing company. We are going to change lives. I have no doubt in my mind that we're going to do that. And all of you are a part of that. You're history-making individuals that 20 years from now, every one of these webinars are going to be broadcasted live everywhere to look at these individuals who had faith in something. Look at these individuals who believed in a man's vision and kept it going. So don't ever forget that. I'm very proud of you all. I'm trying to see if he's on there. I want to introduce him. Hold on one second. I can't see. Let me know when you see Ash come on. But I'm going to introduce them anyway. We got people.
They're here, Chris. They're here.
Okay, we got people from all over the world here. As you can see, different colors, different faces, different sizes. Me being one of the bigger ones, and that's okay. We got beautiful sisters. We got handsome men, and we are ready to shake this world up. So on that note, I want to introduce my best friend next to Marty DeGarmo. He's going to love that one. A guy who I look up to, a guy who's inspired me, who's bettered my life, and I believe all of yours, Mr. Ash MUfreh, the CEO of this amazing company. Come on out, Mr. Brother Ash.
Thank you so much, Brother Chris. You are incredibly amazing. I think we should all leave. I mean, I don't want to screw this up. This is perfect. What you said is quite enough and inspiring. Well, I'm pleased to be here again. Thank you, everybody. And for the new faces, obviously, we know them, but we haven't seen them in a while. I'm very happy that you're all here. Super thank you. All big thank you. And for those who arranged this session one more time, it's been a little bit sketchy for the last couple of weeks, obviously. We're all affected by our brother DeGarmo, and it's no secret. I think he would outlive all of us for the amount of prayers and love he has. So don't worry about him. He's going to be okay. We know that our prayers are being heard. Thank you, Sister Julie, and of course, Minu and everybody who's assisting. Let's get going. I do have good news and bad news today. So my name is Ash MUfreh. I'm live from Orlando, Florida now, and I hope this will be great. So now that we're done with the good news, let's move on to the bad news. I'm kidding. There's never bad news in Onpassive, all right? At least from my side. Okay. And Brother Chris, I'm gonna kind of like clarify. That's what I do. Always I clean up after you. Uh, Basically, there's no low moment. I haven't been low, okay? Just circumstances and, some challenges in the business, but I've been always high. That sounds like really illegal. I've never been that high, okay? So, but I've been spiritually and mentally, I'm always positive. That's what I'm trying to say. Okay, so I'm gonna get going by the very first clarification. We have been in touch for the last couple of weeks, which is great. There's some probably light and insight and clarity on the direction moving ahead, but certainly with the limitation or with the I would say conservation of what we can say and cannot say at the moment. There's absolutely some vague or kind of like dark areas or gray areas are unclear, and that's what we will continue, clearing for you, so that you would have, hopefully, at some point soon, a crystal clear vision and clarity, so you can better plan your life. Okay, so far, what we've been doing, giving you updates about mostly what happened and hinting that there is a potential drastic change in the future. We have been emphasizing that we've decided change is necessary, and we took action to do that. Okay. And one of the changes, okay, or the main, I would say, strategies we are following now, that we will no longer be telling you what's coming in terms of like details and ahead of our times. We certainly will tell you when things happen, we'll update you in that. And one of the good thoughts, okay, it's only a style that we decided to do it in such a way we will be a few steps ahead in terms of the development. And I'm not just talking about the IT or the technicality. I'm talking about whatever is happening. We will be telling you, okay, a few steps back. I'm going to kind of like re-emphasize this analogy one more time. When we are, I said it before, just in case, if you're hearing it for the first time, if we are in progress in the operation, okay, we are at step 20, very much likely you would be hearing about 15. We're not going to be talking about 20 when we are actually in 20. We'll talk about 20 possibly when we're don't take it exact, okay, but it could be 25 or a few steps ahead, okay? Some steps are giant. Some steps are, not going to be that severe. So to put this in a realistic, practical perspective, as of now, I haven't talked about step one. All what we're doing so far and have done in the last couple of weeks, we're preparing you mentally for step one. You haven't heard anything about step one. Certainly, as a company, as a business, in terms of our vision, we're not at step one. Now, before that, we're way past step 1 and 2 and 3, to be clear. But I haven't talked about step 1 so far, just to be clear. And I'm going to tell you this one, somebody's going to get mad at me, but it's okay. Sometimes you have to piss off someone to make it easier for everybody else, all right? It's okay. So a genius fella, okay, yesterday emailed that concerns about the next project. The only concern I have is about your mental ability. That person, not you, okay? Because I haven't talked about something and we haven't seen it. How could you have concerns about it? So it's all your delusional invention is to worry about something that may never happen the way you're thinking. So allow it to happen. Focus with me, or as our brother Bob says, focus, okay? Focus. Okay, I cannot say it the same way, but focus in the moment. All right, we are here trying to prepare you for step 1. Step 1, okay, is to move on to something you've never seen and something that we have never talked about. So how could you have some doubts and questions? So let's be clear. We haven't talked about step 1. All what we're doing, we're clarifying or just educating you and informing you the things that happened, okay, about step 2. I'm sorry, about the past. So before we go to that, that's something that we need to make clear. So, and we owe you the explanation, okay? Sister Julie, can you take it for a minute, or Brother Chris, just if she's available?
Yes, I'm here.
Yeah, I need to take this call.
Thank you everyone for being here. Mr. MUfreh is here to share with us the latest, and he share his sentimental. And I'd like to have some of our friends here, and let me remove the pin, to go ahead. Susie, if you could please, I understand that you are very close to our great company, and I'd love for you to speak a little bit on what Mr. MUfreh is sharing. Let me take him off first.
Okay.
Go ahead, Susie.
Yes, thanks, Julie. Hi, everybody. Good to see everybody here on the panel and everybody watching. From what Ash is saying right now is, to me, very exciting, because he says we don't even know what step 1 is, and it's something that we've never seen. And from what I'm understanding, what he was referring to is, how can people be assuming or considering certain projects or things when we haven't even been told step 1. So I truly believe that Ash is really doing this strategically to prepare us, because I think it's going to be so huge and so monumental that it's good that we're going step by step through this process, because I think too much all at once would, the word I really don't like, overwhelm, but people would get overwhelmed. So it's systematic, and I'm excited to hear about step 1 when we hear about it. Thanks, Ash.
No, thank you, Susie. Actually, you said it perfectly. Here's the thing. Even, there are many updates that you will get just in preparation for accepting the change mentally, okay? And then, so mentally preparing you for that and detaching. I said it clearly before that we have to detach and disconnect from something that you think it is, okay? Because where we're moving is something I haven't talked about, and it's not exactly nor similarly to what we've experienced before. And I want to use this analogy. Watch Red Redfern's live from yesterday. He talks about, things blew up and all of that, and that struck me in a way, made me think about. Uh, Many of you know I'm passionate about space and launches and SpaceX and NASA, all those futuristic projects and space exploration, etc. So I've been following this. SpaceX, when they dominate, the trips and satellite by volume and by cost and by, I would say, uh, productivity. Okay, uh, in what they've been doing. And this only happened in the last few years. It didn't happen like, decades ago. So it took since the first trip to the moon, I think 69 or yeah, I think 1969. Okay. And uh, after that, a good 50 years plus until things got reactivated and uh, got more, progress. I can remember when I think 9 years ago or so, when the first reusable boosters in Falcon Heavy and Falcon 9 actually first, just Falcon, the rocket made by SpaceX, used to just blow up, explode. Even before that, the first Falcon, okay, 9, which is a massive rocket. Uh, the first three attempts to launch, you know how it costs, it takes years in preparation, but the launching day, and there's not a guarantee that it would launch on time. There are other measures and value variables that will dictate if it's going to go on time or will be scrubbed and moved to the next potential launching time, such as weather, whether it's wind or, all of that. And they don't actually fuel the rocket itself until the time of launch. And sometimes that even doesn't go well. So they would have to stop that, and, just reschedule the launch. But when they finally launch, after so many years and sacrifices and failures that happened before that behind the scene, even the launching time itself, it's a big thing. Launching something at that level is a big thing, and no matter how much you prepare, still you don't know until you go live. And what happened is it blew up first time, second time. Now, when they go from the first time to the second time, it's not like, okay, just like the same thing and redo it again the next day. No, 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 no. They have to apply what they've just learned from we're not going to call it a failure, the first attempt. Failure when they just quit, when they say it's over, it's impossible, we cannot do it. That's a failure. That's it. It's not going to happen. But a part of that massive vision is to do, to enable human being to explore other planets, or specifically Mars in the first stage, which is massive, okay, and potentially live there, okay, if possible. They would have to explore, at distance but affordably, right? And different technologies that human being can do that. Travel to space safely, obviously. That's the main thing. So in that massive vision, it's not just like, okay, load this with a ton of hydrogen and liquid oxygen and just blow it up in the sky. No, it's not that easy. Okay. So much preparation in the background until they finally go, it blows up, and now another project for the next attempt. Is it guaranteed to go? No. than they do. Okay. It did fail 3 times, and they ran out of budget or funds. It was technically the last dollars they've had, and everything depended on the fourth launch or attempt. It did work. If it didn't work, they would have been broke, out of funds, demotivated. Others are not going to support that. And that could be loss for all of us as humans. But when it succeeds, and who's paying for the price? We didn't pay the price, okay? But the potential value could serve a broader population from our human race. And it didn't take long to go to Falcon Heavy, which is technically 3 Falcon 9 rockets, attached together, and they blow so they can even reach further distance in space. I can remember 2018, February or something, I think it was, when in Cape Canaveral, for those who don't know, it's like NASA in Florida by the Atlantic Ocean, when it went and it was a success. It's a massive rocket. It's like 3 major massive rockets into one. It's incredible. And since that time, technically around the same time we started working on Onpassive, I've been inspired or influenced somehow by their tenacity and their persistence to succeed and further and do it right, okay, every time. And every time we've attempted to do something and like prepare for the launch, in my mind, I say, you know what, this could blow up. So I can scrub it so we can do it safely, and I reschedule. I've said it to you before many, many times. We prepare to open something or to launch it, and I didn't sign up on that. I didn't approve it, so you didn't know, but it doesn't mean it was not prepared or there was no work or it was no challenges and all that. That was kept away. When we finally have something to show, and again, the very last attempt was in September 2023 when we've launched OConnect. Technically the first paid product out to the public, or at least given a priority as promised to our founding members from Onpassive that we've been working for, in the background for a few years before until it went to the public. Forgive me for this exact analogy, but it would make sense to you if you just understand that when you want to launch something, it's worth to say that it's not guaranteed to go well the first attempt. It doesn't mean a failure. It's an attempt. It's a try. It's a test. When it's something big, okay, there's so many variables and aspects involved, there is a high risk of something breaking. Do you want to talk about, legal challenges that were, we got to deal with that in the background? Do we want to talk about some ethical challenges from incompetent managers? Do we want to talk about other things, we're basically deceiving us from our own team on both sides, company internally and our users. So all that played to give us, and I wasn't, very motivated at the level of what do you call it, technical quality. But I compromised to say, you've gotta have to go through step 1 in order to go to step 2 and 3 and 5. You have to go that mile and then apply all the lessons. I wasn't certain that this is definitely it, and just okay. From that time, immediately after opening OConnect, I realized this is not the ideal team. Simple thing. There, when I hired a CFO, that I said, okay, I need these 20. I didn't say find 20 different payment processors. I said, use these 20, line them up, A, B, C, D, all the alphabet, okay? So I can have that. They got a couple of years in preparation, and we were delayed from 2022, if you remember, the World Cup in Qatar in November, until technically 10 years later, 23, when we opened for payments, right? And we didn't even have a proper payout. It was just something so manual. They had a couple of years in preparation and didn't do that. So I knew we're not prepared enough. So I wasn't pushing more payments. That's why I made it 3 years, and I didn't renew. I didn't charge again. All those things, because I just don't want to collect money for something I'm not passionate about. So it did blow up when we just launched, just like that rocket. Does it mean we failed? Absolutely not. I refuse to say we failed. Now, we're going to have another launch, right? Technically, do you think we just will load it up like another rocket and just throw it in the sky? That's not how it works. There's so much that you have to apply in your operation until you go to the next launch. Now, the good news and the bad news. The bad news first, okay? Take the unpleasant away. This is like a leadership style. A lot of people, they like, to do the unpleasant first. Like you do your salad first, then the steak, and then dessert, all of that. Let's do, the same style, and then, but occasionally I like the good, beautiful, sweet news first, basically dessert first, and then we talk about salad and whatever, if we have room for that. But the unpleasant part that scientifically is good. Let me just say it before that, but in reality, it's so much loss and losses, which is that launch that blew up is not reusable, and there's no possible way that you can repair it, stitch it, and let's go back. That includes Onpassive, that includes OConnect ecosystem, all of that. I'm talking about the same business, the complete business model. If this language is a little bit, indirect or not as friendly for some of you, I know many of you understand me so good. Don't worry, there are better people who will explain it to you in plain English and like simple terms to unpack it, and you will get it, all right? But understand that we cannot use the same exact business model, the same exact technology, the same exact code and all of that and fix it and just blow it up again. That potentially is just gonna blow up. It's gonna, not work. Not gonna use the word fail, okay? But that will be insane because we're gonna repeat the same thing and expect different outcome or different results. It's not gonna happen that way. Gotta change. Got to change. Now, when I tell you we're gonna move on to a different chapter, different direction, all that, logically, all right, I'm going to use that word again, you have to apply all the lessons learned from that attempt, plus behind the scene thing. So one thing, can you do it with the same people that they deceived you in the first place? That's insanity. Can you do it in the same place or location? Duh. All right. And can you use the same code and try to fix it that I was not thrilled in the first place with? It doesn't mean it's bad or you didn't put the effort or the engineers in the first round, they didn't do their best. This is what we've achieved. Same thing with that rocket. Are they bad? No, no. It just, this is what they've achieved. There are lessons. You have to consider them. Cannot do them again. Or you're going to have the same results. So are you understanding that how crucial it is for us to change? We've got to change dramatically, not a little bit, completely. Where we were working took us to a certain level. Now here's where I'm going to tie this up all together. Okay, then we move on to the good news. Okay. Now, the things that went wrong or didn't succeed in the first place, they're a part of the journey. Let me apply that again. SpaceX couldn't go to where they are today without blowing up some rockets in the first place. Without that, that's a part, a major, major step and part of the overall process. That major vision still there intact as space exploration, invading, or, you know, going, traveling, if you want to say, to other planets, still there. We haven't achieved it yet, by the way. There's so many steps, like millions of steps in the operation to get to the first step to launch that didn't go well, but mentally it's accepted because it's a part of the journey. If hadn't they blow up the first 2-3 rockets, right? I'm talking about those like official launches. Imagine how many like models and prototypes and things that just we didn't even know about in the early stages. Hadn't they, you know, like let's say, didn't succeed in those 3 launches prior to the fourth one, which was a success. If they went and it went 1, 2, 3, 4 rockets, let's say, fine. What if we got to the point where we had the Dragon rocket, right, or shuttle, basically, that we inhabited with occupied with astronauts, and then it blew up. It's a good thing that you blow up. Sorry, you know, for that term, but it is what it is. Okay, break before you get as big, and then you get over your head and you believe that's it, you got it, and then things will blow. Okay, let me put that in Onpassive perspective. If we went live with crooks and thieves back in 2023, and we start making sales of roughly $100 million, which is technically that was our pace in the first month. It's been what, a year and a half now? Okay. Yeah, a year and a half. 18 months, that's 1.8 billion, I guess, something like 2 billion, give or take. And now they decided to, you know, raid on the main robbery that they did. Thank God it was back then. They could have waited because they fooled us, right? To a point, they could have waited, but God is greater. So everything is normal, is natural, is realistic. Nothing is unique to us. When you build something big, it doesn't mean it's going to work the first attempt. And that first attempt that it doesn't work is not a good success, or not you really shatter the world, right? It is a part of the process. You cannot skip it. There's no shortcut. It's like everything about our life. There's no shortcut to success. There's no shortcut about launching, let's say, potentially the largest AI IT company. How could you do that without, learning curves in the beginning? Speaking of shortcuts, okay, a lot of people think, you just swallow that pill and you're going to look as beautiful as Chris Johnson, and as sexy and muscular and all of that, and buffed, and or John White, Susie's boyfriend. I don't think it's realistic for those who thought, like, okay, just by opening Onpassive, their life is completely fixed and all of that. They're going to be healthier. They're going to be better looking. They're going to be wealthier, all that. No, 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 no. What did you do? And how do you apply that? So in order to move on to phase 2, or the next chapter, if you wish, you've got to have a better mindset or proper expectations. I never told you, I wrote a book years ago about weight loss and, being fit and ripped and all of that, okay? That book was never published because it's just like 2 sentences as a joke. A lot of people, they were like, you know how many books and courses and programs about diet and losing weight, and how many pills and potions and lotions you can do that, like they will be magical, all that. Can I tell you a secret about having the proper size or weight? Put your fork down and move more. That's it. Hashtag MUfreh, your future trainer. If you like that, it is going to work for you. A lot of people think, oh, it's a waste. There's no shortcut. You've got to go through the pain. It's not a wishful thing. I'm going to use my friends in South Florida that Barbara had to do. She did, what do you call that, to remove the fat? Basically a surgery, all right? Okay, fat removal. Literally taking chunks of her flesh and then stitching her back. Shortcut, right? You remove like something that happened over many, many years. Just go to an operation, open, done. Few hours later, oh yeah, you're fit, perfect. Yeah, they did that. But apparently it caused bigger issues. It was a successful operation, right? They did what they did, but too much fat with the body size and the bone and the structure and the skin of her, she couldn't stand up. because it was not proportionate. The bone and the structure of the body was accustomed to a certain size. Take that, it just crashes. Plus all the, the saggy skin, all of that. So it created a bigger problem. On the other side, somebody's doing it naturally, our brother John here, okay, organically. It doesn't look like he had that problem because he didn't do the shortcut. People overestimate what could happen, like in short period of time. Onpassive is going to launch, or we're going to open this, we're going to be wealthy, it's done. But they drastically underestimate what could happen over time in a natural organic process. All right, let's wrap this up. What we've been talking about so far is not even step one. And if you have concerns about the next project, okay, reset. You shouldn't. We haven't talked anything about the next project, okay? Don't worry about that. We still have things to fix from the past and apply so we can take you to the next project. I'm going to also tell you the good news that part, allow me to say, I'm not going to take credit for it, okay? This is God's work. That in that transition, we've been tested for the first one, second one, okay? But we're here. That didn't change. Obviously, with a bigger vision, with a bigger project, right? Okay, higher confidence. How so? It's not because of my, beauty in a way. It's because of the actual mechanics on the ground. Being with exceptional people. I would say extraordinary people. That is going to determine where you go. I'm going to give you an example. We're not reopening O Connect. I'm going to put that in perspective. Not reopening O Connect. Can we do that? Yes, absolutely. But if I offer you something 300 times better, as good as O Connect, it was good for that time, what would you say? Is that going to crush Zoom like instantly? Yes, that was the hope and the goal in the first one. Not to compete, but because we believe we could do more. And one of the challenges is like Zoom has been doing it for so long. I'm talking realistic IT, okay, challenges. The companies like Microsoft and Zoom and all that, they've been in business ahead of us in the game, live, using that. And they didn't get to where they are today overnight. Did they have setbacks? Did they have challenges? Yes. But progress over time, little by little, there you are. So how could we have advantage not to have 20 years in preparation, in progress, so we can get better results? We don't have that time. We cannot go back and restart with them, right? The only way to overcome that is to get the people that have built those and avoid, let's say, their setbacks or their challenges. That something that took them, let's say, 5 years, one feature, for example, to scale it to a certain level. If you get somebody who is knowledgeable, not to take them where they are, okay, or to implement something where those companies are, okay, but actually 5 years ahead, you overcome that challenge. So I don't believe that you have to process and stuff. We've been working in the background. It doesn't mean like It's going to be overnight. Okay. So all those elements and activities will take us to a place that we haven't reached as public now in terms of technologies, at least what we want to offer. Let me clarify this. If there is something that we're just going to reach it to where it is or less, pure insanity. Why would we do that? If there's something that is satisfactory the way it is, or, fine, why would we do it? Go back to SpaceX. We're going to do something that is more valuable, better features, more advanced, okay, more user-friendly, and way affordable in terms of price, and give back. Very different model and more complete, more integrated. Okay, so we can humanize our technological, journey. So I have talked to you about a few topics in the past, like SEC and where we are and where we're going to go and all of this. I'm going to revisit that, so will be hopefully a better clarity for everybody. I'm going to get more specific now if that was a little bit, kind of like vague and more, I would say, preaching. Forgive me for that, but I feel better, so thank you for putting up with me. I'll let it out now. Okay. Back to like simple terms. SEC, I've given you an update that we're working out on something before, and we're, in a very advanced phase to do it. I said this before. I'm going to say something. Maybe you like it, you don't like it. I will not be given further details on the process, okay, until I have potentially a final update, okay? So at the moment, as everything else, it could blow up in the last minute. It could. It could be scrubbed. It could be modified. It could be, some surprises appear. Or some of what I say could be impacting negatively the outcome. So I decided not to get into that. We do have a case with the SEC. We don't believe we did cause any harm to anybody. We did not admit, anything or all that. It's a painful process. We went through it. We've been going through it. Cost us millions of dollars, for legal that and potential loss for the time and the reputation. It's like you cannot even put a price on that. It's really big, 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 a drag for us. So that happened, and we're hopeful with your support and belief for the good people, okay, that eventually, the truth will emerge and it will come out, and then this will be behind us. It will certainly free us from so many burdens and obstacles, so we can move lighter and, I would say, more effective. All right. So don't expect minor updates here and there on the process. If you hear something not from me, please don't waste your time on it. It's rather manipulated, or somebody's, doing that for a couple of cheap clicks or whatever, or bait title. Or I am not talking about that topic until I have concrete updates. All right. There's a process. We have the most incredible, talented, I would say, in my opinion, I wouldn't ask for a better legal team to represent us and the company. We're in good hands. So all of that is taking place. So let it go when it's done, or however it ends. Okay. I don't know when and how, but I'll give you an update. I do have, certainly my details and all of that, but I decided not to bring it up to the public, if that makes sense to you. All right. I don't think this will in any way impact our future or our next chapter. This has nothing to do with it, but it's something that unfortunately, I had to go through it. I've suffered the most as company, as individual, with my family. Again, time, reputation, and money, all of that plus. Okay. So, but it does not impact our dream. Put it that way. And now I want to clarify something about so we're gonna wait until this done, so we move on to the next chapter. I never said that. Let me be very, very clear to you. Until now, today's date, okay, May the 3rd, 2025, we've never been banned or stopped to practice Onpassive or to operate as Onpassive. There's never been a decision to shut down Onpassive, nor we expect this would happen. So this is delusional and this is hypothetical for those who thought that it's Onpassive, we're going to reopen. We've never stopped. It was, yeah, there are certain things that we didn't bring to you or shared with you, but logically, there's so much going on. The legal battles, obviously, to pinpoint the evidences and all of that, so we can fix it and move forward and decide about, previous model to next model, all of that. Okay, so what we bring to you is we believe will help you have a better clarity for those who care. Now, some people, here is the insane level, and I really want to hopefully help you in not just in this area of life, which is Onpassive business or okay. In general, if somebody is less qualified and not a part of the process, you take them as your source of information, and all they're doing is injecting poison in your dreams, doubting yourself, all of that, and something that you, at least emotionally, you felt this is something good or positive. You want it in your life. And somebody's trying to spoil that and screw you up. And you have a choice not to listen to them. Can I tell you something? It's your mistake. Why are you allowing the devil to talk to you? So we have people who are in Onpassive, obviously, and been with us. They're behaving in a way that whether they're doing other businesses or taking people, or they don't just shut up and be quiet about their negativity, all right, or their doubts. It doesn't mean the whole thing is a failure. If they failed mentally, okay, or however, mindset wise, if it doesn't mean that we did. We have dream. We will not let it go. We believe we're going to do it in a much better way than we previously said. I don't know if you understand farming, but some of you may do. Okay, you know that mango tree. Uh, the fruit is heavy, and that stem for some reason it doesn't hold it. Okay, and so they fall off, but they're still good, juicy, yummy. Okay, and in fact, specifically in far Asia, let's say Japan, even Thailand and anywhere east, like South Korea, all that. I've seen how they farm mango. They have like a mesh bag somehow, okay? It protects it and they hang it so with the branch. So when it falls off, still hanging, and it also protects it from other animals such as birds, whatever. Okay, right. Now I'm going to use the analogy, okay? And peaches, on the other hand, if it falls off, it's rotten. Okay, it's bad. Don't eat it. Right? So if you're an Onpassive member as of now and you're thinking you're going to drop out or drop off, okay, completely, fall like a nice mango. Don't drop like a rotten peach. All right. So still juicy, edible, and yummy. So you don't have to. Anybody stole something from a hotel before or broke something and like, not because you're leaving, nobody's going to use it, or you don't have to spoil it. You don't have to spoil it. I just leave that to your imagination. I'm not the Pope. You don't have to make a confession here. Okay. So we all know what happens. Okay. So not because you're leaving, you have to screw it up for the next person. For those who are leaving or they don't want to stick around, I love you because you're leaving, but I don't appreciate your causing noise when you leave. You know why I want you to leave? And I like that because remember some of the mistakes that happened in the first round, previous chapter, is attracting some wrong people with the wrong mindset. And when they are going automatically, this is God's gift. I love it. Okay. We don't want them to go with us to the next chapter. That's a part of our better success. We want you to leave. I'm not swearing that you have to go with us and all that. No evidence. If you don't believe it, with a good kiss, okay, adios. But don't rot like a fallen peach. Stay cute like a mango. Onpassive never been shut down. I don't expect it to be shut down. Whatever we decide to do with it is our choice. Why do you think I'm in this battle? So I can shut down? I want to clarify one more thing. A lot of people are attached to the brand, Onpassive, love the name, all of that. Yeah, sure. Is it we're just changing name and moving forward? Absolutely not. It's something that is not Onpassive. How could you call it Onpassive? So Onpassive is there, is staying here, is not going anywhere. A lot of people say, you said, I'm going to be very also transparent. Many people recall we said only God could shut us down, right? Or bring us down. Still valid. Doesn't mean the brand or the specific way of doing it. I'm talking about the whole theory. I'm talking about the whole vision. I'm talking about the whole dream. I'm talking about the whole project. If there's a tactical way that you have to do it or do it, sure, be open to that. You're going somewhere, you get a roadblock or something blows up, right? And your final destination is almost within reach, but you say, no, I'm just going to do it in this way, this specific road or street. You're going to be blocked. You can camp all you want there. You want to go to the bathroom and like you want to have a battle with your system and say, no, I'm not going to do it now. You're going to crap in your pants. Don't be stubborn. You have to change it. You have to go with the flow. I'm leaving a breather for the imagination, for the graphical. The question is here, okay, are we going to have to wait for the SEC case to end up or to settle or whatever happens, okay, for that outcome, then we move on to the next phase. Okay. Okay. The short answer is no, we don't have to. Are we choosing to? Absolutely. It's a preference. Another thing, does that mean with this case over, that means reopen and resume everything as it was in Onpassive? Absolutely no. I can tell you right now. If you're waiting for that, whether it happens next month or I don't know, uh, 20 days, 60 days, anytime happen, okay, let's not put a time on that. When it happens, you're going to expect, okay, go back, buy, or get paid or whatever, I don't know what you're waiting for, okay? Because a lot of people, like I know 95% or more who don't have commissions, but for some reason they expect when we resume, for some reason, they're going to get paid automatically. This is a part of the delusional mentality. Okay, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. Not when this case is over. We're going to resume and do the same thing. I'm telling you. Also, are we shut down? Are we decided that's it? It's over. It's a dead animal. No, I'm not saying that. I could have said, you know what? I'm going to bankrupt Onpassive. It's over. I'm freed from any responsibility. I see you in a better life, right? I could have done that. So we're choosing not to shut it down. We're not being forced to shut it down. We're not resuming in the way most people are expecting. Are we having a specific plan? I'm going to be very honest with you. No, I don't have a plan how to further proceed with Onpassive. Can I tell you why? Do you insist? You want to know why? You have to beg me. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm just testing the attention span. Okay. So it's very simple. I'm going to tell you voluntarily why we're not, we haven't decided that, because we have something greater. Very simple. We have something greater that you might like it. And you're going to tell me, thank God you didn't do this or didn't resume the same cycle. We will lose some, hopefully by design, rotten peaches. It's okay, or fruit. That's good. But we're going to have the cream with us by design. Okay, am I obligated to take you with me to the next phase or chapter or whatever it is? Next project? No. Do I owe you any explanation about that? No. We're here in Onpassive. Onpassive, technically blew up on the launch. Thank God it happened then. Am I fixing it, stitching it? No, relax. I hope I'm like touching the points that you want to know before we move on to like more, I would say, topics or things. And I've talked about the next chapter somehow. Mostly I said what is not, right? I said it's not MLM, it's not it's not passive income, is not Onpassive 2.0. I said that. And I want you to be clear. The next chapter is not an investment. And nobody's paying for that. Nobody's entitled nor entitled for any, whether update or invitation. The next chapter has zero hype. I don't want anybody to hype. That's why I'm not going to let you say the story before I'm choosing who would qualify this time to go on with it. Can I tell you a secret? I don't know if you know. Really? Okay. I have a couple more friends that you've never met. In the digital marketing area. Basically marketers and master recruiters and heavy hitters and all of that. I did not invite them yet to the first time. They know what I could do, and they have been telling me to invite them, and I refused. I will only do when I'm satisfied about the value. So everybody you know or came so far, mostly I didn't even invite them. Or we haven't done business before or prior to this. There are a few that knew me before, but it doesn't mean I have invited them. When they found out it's Ash MUfreh who's doing this, they just ran. So why I think the next thing is going to be a lot bigger? Because now I'm feeling confident to invite my friends. To market myself, not to promote and market myself as Ash. I'm talking that I will do the marketing. I am passionate and excited to share this. Talking about the next chapter. So if you're skeptical, if you're not sure you're going to do this, you're capable of doing it, okay, there's no obligation. If we owe you anything in Onpassive, we will never settle. We will never, ever settle before we make this right to the best of our ability. So do you promise, like, okay, you're going to put Chu in our team? I got that insane question before. Let me be patient about not, being disrespectful. If that path is not going to continue, what's the point of doing that step? Allocating the marketing or the extra positions that we have, etc., right? More than 95, 96 people don't have commissions, right? With all the respect, is none of your business to bring up the topic about the other 3, 4, 5% who will qualify for the commission. Those people will certainly be pleased at the end. I'm going to throw hypothetical outcomes. I need to back up, okay, because this, again, the legal thing, but the robbery that happened from our individuals, okay, in Dubai, in that time, the whole target was $52 million that are a part, not everything. Revenue came from Connect. They wanted to hijack that. They did what they did. That is not within the 52 million. Their activities caused, okay, or actions caused this to get more complicated, okay, and got frozen. At some point, this was imminent, about to go out. Am I happy that it didn't? Thank God, okay, it didn't go out, because they would have hijacked that amount and disappeared. They think they could, but the fact that it's stuck, now there's a potential this could be rectified the right way. There's SEC involved. There are governments involved. There's like whatever the attorney general or the prosecutor in the UAE. There's central bank. There's a few, and so it passed that stage with the payment processor themselves. Okay, it's ahead of that, so it requires that. If this is done in our favor at the end, I'm just saying that. Okay, who knows? Good, short, easy. But this is not going to happen this month or next month, or even the following month. I'm going to be very clear with you. Hypothetically, we don't succeed to do it, okay? Hypothetically. I'm not giving service in any way to the criminals who stole our money and our properties, okay? Or they think they got away with it. Not yet, okay? It's not over. First of all, you're going to face hell on earth, okay, a few times to the rest of your life. And the minute you die like a dog, okay, you're going to go, obviously, to hell. Infinitely. Eternally. So because of that, however this ends up, do you think Ash MUfreh is the type of guy that, let's say, Bob Takusi or Brother John or whoever here, Gene or sister, anyone, okay, anybody has $5 commissions? Do you think I would ever rest, ever in my life, rest without clearing up the right way? But the right thing is those commissions are to pay, and that the criminals don't get away with that fun. It's that simple. And this is not a 5-day process. So until that is, let's say we exhaust all of our efforts to recover those funds and other things, right? Then we'll talk about other options. But make no mistake, whether you're moving to the next chapter or whatever you do, or if somebody is not even with us, we will find a way to make this right. I don't need this money. And even if I have it, just hypothetically, today, okay, those commissions, is not right to pay it and let the criminals get away with your money and the employees' money, payroll and all of that. So do you understand? We have to go that route first, but it's not a quick process. We believe justice will always prevail, okay? See it? That's what I wanted to say. I know it's a little bit preachy and all that, but be clear that when we move to step one, you've got to clean all those scattered confusions. Then we move on to that chapter. Or we'll reveal what step one is. Back to you, Houston or Michigan.
Very good, Ash. Thank you very much. And thank you for the time you've given us today. Excuse me. I want to start off by saying if you have a question within the topic for Ash, please raise your hand. You are not required to speak. There's a lot of you here. That's because we want to get a lot of faces on here. And I see a couple hands going up, and I will call you this time in order because we have a mixed bunch of everybody. So let's start with my beautiful sister, Miss Megan Mitchell. Come on, Megan. Unmute, Meg. There you go.
I am. I don't really have a question. I just wanted to share something that's been on my mind. First of all, I wrote some notes down because otherwise I might just get off topic. Hopefully you'll find a little bit of value in this. First of all, thank you for inviting me on. It's an honor, and I do appreciate it. This is, for me, it's a journey of hope, faith, resilience, and patience. And I believe that seeing some of the analogous themes in life helps us to make sense of the trials, both big and small. I've talked about this before, but plants and gardening are one of my passions. I have no formal training, only some experiences with both positive and negative results. Last year, I planted a new perennial sunbed, and anytime I plant a seed, it's an exercise in hope and faith, just like the seeds that you planted in this company. Even with all of the necessary preparation, we can never be certain that the seeds will produce. Patience is key. I often wonder how many times I've prematurely ripped up a plant or a seed that would actually produce. You took great care in the development of your dream, just like the preparation of a garden. I cannot predict the unusually cold winters, the extra rain that rots the roots, or the deer that foraged on the plant when it was tender. Shortly after finishing my new bed, I came across some information about black walnut trees and the juglon toxin that they leach into the soil. I had created my new bed just outside the canopy of a black walnut tree. You couldn't know the canopy of founders, business partners, and employees that would leach poison into your company when you created your dream. Wisdom is knowing when to push forward or when to give up. You never left the garden, but continuing to plant an unsuitable plant in the garden would be foolish, just as you said about Onpassive. With hope, I continued to care for my bed, patiently waiting to see what would survive. Not everything is meant to remain. Only the resilient. The same can be said with founders in old parts of this journey. But those of us with faith and resilience know that the miracles are happening beneath the ground. The roots are growing stronger, and what seems dead is only regenerating. Early this spring, I felt the angst of seeing the barren ground, and I believe that some founders kind of feel that way about our current situation. But like I said, those of us with faith, we know that there's miracles happening that we can't see. I'm happy to say that my bed is abundant with regrowth. Not all survived just as it's meant to be, because I often overplant and get ahead of myself, just like you said we did with Onpassive. I will make the most of this garden and start any new ones with discernment and new knowledge about things such as the black walnut. There's no windows to the underground. We just have to have patience and faith. I believe there are miracles happening beneath the soil of this company. And I just wanted to thank you for inviting us to your garden and allowing us to grow with it. Perhaps in the future, one of my beds might even be a bed of pumpkins. Some of you will get that and some of you won't. Thank you so much.
Very good, Megan. I got it. Brother Ash, are you still there? Did you go get a drink of water or something?
Oh, I'm good. Thank you for caring. Just if you allow me, I think if you like, we can shut it down as far as recording. And if there are comments, feedback, or questions, that would be considered as a bonus for the live attendees. Does that make sense?
Makes sense to me.
All right.
Chris,
Yes.
Chris, this is Jerry Nix. I'm going to have to leave pretty soon. I just wanted to say a few things if I could.
Jerry, go right
Chris,
ahead.
I'm delivering groceries for